Welcome back in the last video 2019 on the Vintage Composer channel. Mike back here with you. Talk about my collecting goals for the new year 2020 already. It's crazy, I know. Not a very long list of goals, intricate in its own way. But the first thing I'd like to do is thank all of you who have subscribed and watched and commented on my videos. I started this channel back in March or April. I haven't put together that many videos yet, haven't gotten that many subscribers yet, but for those of you who have hung in there with me and part of that small community, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. A lot more good stuff on the way, as we'll talk about in a couple minutes. The first goal, the primary goal, the whole reason I started this whole channel, really just for myself at first, making a virtual museum, I guess, a video look back at all the cards I had, all the sets that I'm working on completing. The Topps Vintage Master Set list. Currently, I'm in the process of putting together 16 different Topps sets spanning from 1954 to 1982, of which 13 need just 10 cards or less, including the variations. One of the tougher ones to complete, as I mentioned in my last video, the 1962 Topps Super Set of 692 cards. I'm working on getting the final 30 of the green tints in the second series. That'll be a bit of a project. I'm looking forward to tackling that and putting that to bed. It'll take a little bit of time, but it'll be worth it, don't worry. And also the 1969s, the white letters. I'm still debating whether or not I want to get into it. I have to do some more research to find out the availability of the cards, the pricing. I know down the line there's going to be those 3 big Hall of Famers, including the Mick. So I'm going to think about that first. I'm going to finish off these small guys, the 1s, the 2s, the 4s that I need to complete a bunch of sets, and then we'll see if we can tackle the 69, see if we want to get into that or not. Next in my goal list will be some pickups for my PCs. You all know the guys I like: Steve Carlton, George Brett, Reggie, Pete Rose, Nolan Ryan, Mike Schmidt. Looking to get into the some beaters, some lesser grade cards of the 70s, the early stuff that I don't have as part of my PC just yet, and then get into the stuff from the mid-90s, the inserts and the post-playing day cards of those guys, so that'll be fun to get into. There's also a few of those players that have cards in the Topps Living set that came out in 2018 and 19, like Randy Johnson, Tony Gwynn, Nolan Ryan, Ricky Henderson, Cal Ripken. They all look really good. I'm going to look forward to picking those up. And I've also teased myself into getting into the 91 and 92 Donruss Elites of Ricky Henderson and George Brett. We'll see as time goes by if I can score those at a decent price. In terms of the oddball sets, I thought I was going to have a whole list of it, but I finished a bunch at the end of the year. So the only one I have left is that 91 Topps Rack Pack, the All-Star inserts. I only need 9, and they're not really difficult to find. There's a Ken Griffey out there. It's probably the most expensive card, but the rest of them should be easy to come by, and I'll finish that entire run from 84 to 91 of the Topps All-Star inserts. The next piece is going to be, well, it's been a work in progress for over 30 years, and that's my PC of Robin Yount, who I started collecting back in 1988. 1988, yeah. I have over 1,000 pieces of his stuff, not just cards and stickers and coins, but I've got the oddball stuff, the food issues, the permographic credit cards, the jigsaw puzzle, the marbles, the popsicle sticks, the Heartland statues, the starting lineups, all kinds of stuff. Game used and autograph, and I just need to organize it. It's totally out of control. I got back into the vintage stuff and I put the PC away, and I haven't updated the database in so long. So I think the plan is going to be start from 1975 and do like the first 10 years, 75 to 84, and just reorganize the database, figure out what I need. I know there's a Mr. Z's Pizza that was put out in Milwaukee area. There's the McDonald's placemat from 82. There's a bunch of stuff like that I need to go into. I'll show it off in pieces, and I'll put together a list and maybe do a top 10 of each of those decades or every 5 years or so that I need. So that'll be a good thing to show off. I'm excited to show it off to everyone. Another sort of oddball set I've been working on, and I'm almost there. I've been putting together a 1984 Donruss Champions set. That's the 3x5 cards with some of the legends sprinkled in. Came out in jumbo fun packs back in the mid-80s. Only made it for 1 year, 1984. And I've gotten everyone that I can get autographed. I got Bill Buckner, I got Gary Carter, I got Tug McGraw. I was able to get Frank Robinson. I have a Hank Aaron one. And of all the living players, the one guy I need left, and which would be pretty much everyone that's not Carl Hubbell or Babe Ruth or Cy Young, is Hal McRae, the longtime player and manager of the Kansas City Royals. I sent him 2 examples of that card through the mail about a dozen or so years ago, and I never heard back from him. So they're out there somewhere, but if you happen to know Hal McRae, or know how to get in touch with him, tell him I'm looking for him and ask him kindly, would you please just, sign the card? It'd be great.
You think I'm a goddamn fool? I'm tired of all these ass questions every night. And stay out here asking all these dumb ass questions. Stupid. Sucker. Ask me that stupid ass shit every night. I'm sick and tired of all this bullshit. Now, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Well, that didn't go as well as I hoped. I'm sorry you had to hear that and get involved in all that. Maybe we'll just put that on the back burner and not worry about it just yet. And the last big goal, and it's good news for all of you, is all the new content I'm going to make on this channel. I've got a whole bunch of ideas of new stuff you're used to seeing. We're going to finish the vintage sets. We're going to do some more PC works. We're going to get a lot more day in history, some bios on your favorite stars of the past and present. We're going to look into some more nicknames, some more stadium retired numbers, statues, seats. I got a whole bunch of ideas. So that's coming, but you have to wait until next year. So now I got a full calendar year as opposed to 2019 to create all this new video. So hopefully you can check it out. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you haven't looked at some of the past videos I've made, please do. I hope you enjoy them all. And also to note, and it's the only time I'm going to mention it verbally, I'm planning on a scavenger hunt / contest in 2020. It's going to last throughout the year. So I'm not going to tell you when it's going to start, but there are going to be clues along the way. So my only advice is to stay alert. With that being said, have a great new year. Enjoy the celebration. See you in 2020. January 3rd, the first new video of the new year coming to you. We're going to take a preview of the 2020 Hall of Fame ballot and induction ceremony coming to Cooperstown in July. Talk about who's on the ballot, who's not, who should get in, who shouldn't, who might get in. Lots to talk about there. So until then, enjoy. We'll see you next year. Bye.